As you probably know, I name every Helderburg that we build. And sometimes I struggle with the name because I have so many ideas. In this case, it came to me last night and I think it's perfect. Because when I look at this one in the sunshine, I simply feel it's a warm, it's seductive, and it's definitely the type of build that you just don't see that often. Let me introduce Ambrosia. Hi, I'm Paul and this is Lucy, and today we're talking about, well, I always say a very special Helderburg because they are all very special, because each one that we build starts with a thought, a vision, basically a persona. And in this one, it was easy to name, but it was hard to name. And I always talk about paint. I always talk about colors because that's the first thing that you see. And this color is very unique. So you will simply ask yourself, is that black? Or is that a very deep brown? Or is it a very unique kind of a blue? Well, however you look at it, if you're looking at it in the sun, it does have a warm tone. I mean, that's as simple as I can put it. It is a metallic and it is a quite unique color, and was excited to design this one for the simple fact that I'm going to call it black, but it's not. And it just felt like it needed a dark brown soft top to it. So Ambrosia is the definite beach cruiser. It's the type of build that you enjoy for several years because it's only going to improve with age. And you'll see exactly what I mean when we start looking at the interior and how that interior has really the power to be able to patina in such a way that's only going to make it more beautiful the older it gets. And I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen a leather jacket and you're like, oh, I'd love to have that leather jacket that someone's wearing because it has that beautiful patina, and you're thinking, oh, I can buy it like that it automatically has that patina. And you ask the person about the leather jacket and they're like, no, I've had this for 30 years. So understanding that patina comes over time and it comes over use. And that's the beauty of a Helderburg. And I consider this to be the ideal beach cruiser. And what I really love about our clients is that our clients actually use their Helderbergs. A lot of them use it for a daily driver, and they do for road trips. They just simply use it, and they don't save it for the next owner per se, that they use it to its full potential. And then if and when they pass it down to their children, it is full of memories and it's only improved with age. And that's the one thing. If you look at this build and look at Ambrosia and really study it, there's one simple fact that you're going to realize: that it looks beautiful today and it's going to be delivered very soon. It's going to California. And when it gets delivered, it will look beautiful. But 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from today, it's going to look equally beautiful, and it's going to remain timeless. And the simple fact of that, of why, is when we're designing for the second owner or the third owner. We're designing something that's going to continue to look timeless. If you can try to imagine, if you can try to roll the clock back and say, if this vehicle was sitting, let's say, on the beach 25 years ago, would it look current? Would it look like it belonged 25 years ago? And I think you'll agree, the simple answer is yes, it looks like it belongs 25 years ago. And even if you rolled it back 35 years ago, would it look like it belonged? And all short of the LED lights, maybe, that would probably throw it off a little bit, and maybe the winch could throw it off just a tiny bit, but that's it. And then if we roll it forward and we say 10 years from today, from 2026, will it still look current? And I think you're going to say, yeah, the answer is yes, it will still look current, even though vehicles like Cybertrucks well, we won't use that example, but vehicles in general have subtly changed. That we went from body lines that were very straight and very boxy, then we went to body lines that were much more rounded and aerodynamic, and now we're back to body lines again that are very straight. If you think about modern day SUVs now, and this will remain timeless, but the fact is, it's going to remain unique. And that's what makes something very special. When you start curating the things in your life, you don't want them to blend in. You don't want them to look like everyone else. You want them to be unique, and this is definitely the case. So again, Ambrosia, the color is a very sensual, warm color. It's not exactly black. It does have a metallic, and it has a really nice feeling on the exterior. But I'm excited to show you the interior because we kept it timeless, but we also kept it very, I'm going to just say, seductive. So let's look at the interior. So the first thing you're probably going to ask is, who is this for? Who would want to own a Helderburg like this? And I'm going to give you a couple different scenarios. Again, this is a two-door 110 soft top, 110 inches from wheelbase, from center of wheel to center of wheel. So this is the same size as what you see as a four-door 110. But this one is different in a few different ways. Well, of course, you know that you don't have the additional two doors. You just have the two doors up front. But this is ideal for someone that has a large family. So you have husband and wife in front, and then in the back, you can have the kids, the dogs, whatever. Because you have seating for 8 in the rear. It's all center-facing benches. But the beauty of this, without having the second row, is it allows everyone in the rear to be part of the conversation with everyone in the front, and vice versa, because you don't have that second row. It separates. So you're probably asking yourself, well, the second row would give more seating on a four-door 110. And it's like, yes, it does. But here's the caveat to that. Oftentimes, when you have a four-door 110, even if it's another couple that's come over for dinner and they want you to drive, they want to sit in the cargo area with the center-facing benches versus sitting in the second row, because it's all about nostalgia. So this is the beauty of a two-door 110. This is really the ideal party vehicle, the ideal beach vehicle, because it allows everybody to be part of the conversation. And then it's also the ideal vehicle for a couple or an individual that enjoys a lot of outdoor activity. So if you're a couple or an individual that you like to go to the beach, you like to surf, or if you like to ski, you like to fly fish, you like to golf, whatever it may be, you have a tremendous amount of room in the rear. You can even camp in this. So if you wanted to take this camping, you essentially have a queen-size bed in the rear. So now you can sleep in your Helderburg versus sleeping in a tent. And it's kind of like sleeping in a tent with the soft top. So talking about soft tops, a question that I get a lot of times is it noisy? And you would be surprised that no, it's really not that noisy. You can hear the top rattle a little bit hitting the roll cage itself, but that's an easy fix. You just cinch down the various straps in here, tighten it down, and then that flapping goes away for the most part. And if you still have a little bit of flapping, then what you can do is you can roll the bars with like a foam, like a padding, and then the sound goes away. And then you can just take the top off completely. And when you take the top off completely and drive it as an open top, it's extremely quiet because the wind is going directly over you and you can have a normal conversation. You don't have to talk loud. And then your other option is take the top off completely and do what's called a bimini top, which that's just a soft top that covers the driver and the passenger only, and then leaves the whole back area open. So now that you understand who this is for, let's talk about the interior. I mentioned about Ambrosia being a warm color, and not only warm on the paint, warm on the top, but also warm on the interior. And this leather, if you've watched my videos, you know that our leather is tanned to order every single time, that the leather does not come off of a shelf. The leather comes from Scotland for the simple reason that the hides, that the cows are not in barbed wire, so the hides are much more usable because there's no scratches, no impurities due to barbed wire. So this leather, though, with its high wax content, is only going to patina over time. It's only going to improve and start to look better. It's not going to crack because of the high wax content. It just will simply improve. And if that patina, that if you're the type that you don't like patina, that you like everything to look completely new, then all you have to do is a damp microfiber cloth and a little bit of saddle soap and wipe the seats down, and that patina will just wash away and it will look brand new again. The thickness of the leather is also an important factor, that this leather is so thick, it will take a tremendous amount of abuse and a lot of wear, and you will simply not see the cracking that you normally see in leather. Helderburg interior is different than a lot of luxury vehicles in the simple fact that a lot of luxury vehicles, they only do leather where you're sitting and then where you're touch. And then all of the sides and the back is really, it's a vinyl that's designed to look like leather. And that's not the case in a Helderberg. Everything is leather. We don't try to cut any corners. We don't scrimp. It's just, we do it properly. We do it the way it was done many years ago for luxury cars. And we continue that same strategy, more or less, because again, we're designing this for the second owner or the third owner. So a dark chocolate brown interior with some fluting, and you'll notice all of the stitching. This stitching takes a tremendous amount of time, cutting all of the different leather panels to make it just fit perfectly and then stitch it together. I'm talking a lot of time. So where is the leather? The leather is basically everywhere. I mean, 100% on the seats, the leather on the dash, on the instrument binnacle, on the air conditioning system, the center console, and then these beautiful half doors. I love these doors because it gives you the total open top experience. So there's two bolts down here and one there. You take those off, and this whole top section right here comes off. The glass just removes, or the frame with the glass removes. And then you have these half doors, which is just, it's just romantic. It really is, especially if you're on the beach or whatever. This is the ideal party vehicle. And then we put the pockets on the side of the doors here for additional storage. And again, all leather. And then if you reach inside, you'll feel the backside of the smoothness of the leather, which is really nice. Even wrapped the door handles in leather, and it's just an ultimately fun vehicle. We have not done the audio yet. Audio is going in, and we're going to do a larger touch screen, and then with the Focal audio system where we'll have speakers and a subwoofer or subwoofers throughout, so it will be a very full sound. And so if you're using this on the beach, this is the home base, the party vehicle. It has a lot of different things to make it an ideal party vehicle. For example, this can run in a very extended period of time, sit there and idle and not overheat because of the way we designed it. And the reason for that is if you're on the beach, you're probably going to want a cooler, a refrigerator, possibly a coffee maker, or even a daiquiri machine. I know, but I'm telling you, being on the beach could be a lot of fun. Also the ideal tailgating vehicle too. But this is designed around a family. It's designed around people that enjoy to be outdoors and have a lot of fun outside and be dependent on their vehicle. So it has a lot of those modern conveniences when it comes to power and supplying power. And it's also designed to be able to really get across the dunes, the beach, the sand, from the drivetrain to the engine performance. It's a fun all-around vehicle. Gauges, though, of course, we keep those analog because there's something about a beauty to analog gauges. It just makes it, well, it's nostalgia is what it is. So that's a lot to cover, but let's go to the cargo area because I want you to see how vast it is in size. So Lucy's ready to go for a ride. She's thinking it's time to see if it really is a party vehicle. So talking about the room, again, seating for 8, seat belts for 8. So this creates just the ideal vehicle if you like to entertain or have a lot of children. Some other aspects of this is on the back door, we have another pocket. It's all in leather. It's a half door, and you've got the beauty of rolling up the soft top on the back. You can roll up the soft top windows on the side and get that air really flowing, but it gives you that soft top experience, and you don't have to remove the top entirely unless you choose to. Removing the top is a really easy process. First time you do it, it'll take you about 10 minutes. Putting it back on first time is probably going to take you about 20 minutes, maybe 15. But after you see how it goes on, your second time and thereon, you're only going to be able to do it quicker. After you've understand the process to remove it, 5 minutes, put it back on, about 10 minutes. In the back though, some things that we did, some subtle things, is we put metal tracks on the bottom here. And the reason that we put the metal tracks is just for you to be able to load stuff in. So if you're, using it for whatever you want to use it for, and if you're putting your stuff in containers, it gives you a really simple way just to set it here and let it slide up these tracks to the very front. And then there's the various tie downs here so you can strap everything in so you don't have things moving around. I know that's a pet peeve of mine when I'm driving down the road. If anything's moving or squeaking or making any noise, I simply can't tolerate it. And that's exactly the case here. So everything can be strapped down, nice and secure, but it also allows you not to mess up the carpet either. So this is the back area. The seats do fold up. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, each one sits 2, and they do fold up. These cushions come out, so it gives you more space if you want that. You can use the seat frames to store stuff, or kind of creates a frame for the stuff if you want to pull the seat cushions out, or you can just fold it up and even get a little more room. But honestly, they don't even stick out that far. I mean, they stick out probably about 6 inches on either side. But as I said, this becomes the ideal if you just want to take a nap on the beach. So this is Ambrosia. Oh, before I go, rear bumper has a receiver. It's wired to be able to pull a trailer. So if you're pulling jet skis or something like that, you can do that. And it does have a backup camera too. So there you go. Ambrosia. It's seductive, it's warm, it's sensual, and it's definitely a one of a kind.